Buckeyes win big, 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 big. They were a juggernaut. They were a buzzsaw. Poor Western Michigan. They made $1 million, but these poor kids had to pay the piper. Listen, Buckeyes win big. Michigan loses. We're going to talk about it all today real quick. 6,200 subscribers were surpassed on this channel recently. Thank you so much. We got to get to 7,000. I would love that. If we can get to 7,000 by the game, by the game, we'll have a big giveaway. I'd like to do something nice. Instead of spending money to promote the show on YouTube, I'd like to spend money giving stuff back to you who's actually building a channel. So thank you so much. Keeping it locked in right here on Chat Sports and Scarlet and Great. All right, 7,000 subs. That's the number. The Buckeyes, this time, we talked about with Akron. Remember, they had overwhelming force that eventually broke through, but it wasn't with execution all the time. There was a lot of sloppiness. And I will say, I drove part of this narrative that they struggled because, listen, you look at this team in a different lens. This team was not looked at coming in as, how good are they going to be this year? No, this was natty or bust. Now, granted, I struggle to call any team an absolute failure if they just didn't win a championship that year, because like if you gave me like any team or the field, I will almost always take the field. You just have better odds, right? You guys get it. But we're still grading on championship, like serious championship contender, like, maybe not a guaranteed champion or bust, but Final Four or bust. I would say that is certainly possible. Championship game or bust, maybe. But anyways, these guys played differently. They played up to that standard. Yes, I'm saying they played to that standard. I know it's Western Michigan. This was a team that was in a dogfight with Wisconsin a week ago. But as always, like I always say, what is one of the number one rules of football? Myself is the greatest mind you'll ever hear in college football. My rule is week one lies. Week one doesn't tell the truth. It never does. So I don't know how good Western Michigan is. Don't know how good Wisconsin is. I think Western Michigan is probably certainly better than Akron. I think all you guys watching might play better. No, I don't want to disparage the kids. Anyway, so when you finally jump across the line and execute, not just, hey, I'm better than you, but when you play your position to an high execution standpoint, that's what you get. This game was not a game. It was an execution. This was, hey, we paid $1 million. Let's go just slaughter these guys. They made their money. Now it's time for them to pay the piper. Night game in the shoe. I don't know why it was a night game, but we dealt with it, right? All right, I'm going to go through it and grade the teams. I'm going to be a little nitpicky just because there's some things we hadn't said yet. I don't know that we can have a very good show if I just sit here and say, hey. So real quick, I'm going to give you a second. Comment on the channel here. I'm going to get more caffeine, but comment in the comment section. Grade your team A through F. How do you think the Buckeyes were? A, you can do A minuses, B pluses, C pluses, however you want. And you can even grade the different position groups along with me. So I'll give you a quick second, make that comment. While I slam some of this beautiful, this is the greatest drink ever of all time. Monster Energy, 0 calories. It's just no calories, but 1,000 grams of awesomeness. I go to Costco and get the freaking pallet of it, basically. Anyhow, all right. Position groups, receivers, A. Right, that's pretty. Now I will. Jeremiah Smith, I don't know what this kid is made out of. It doesn't necessarily surprise me to see what he is doing because I've seen players be that good before. I don't think I've seen a freshman play that good before. That was scary. When he took, first of all, great play design. When you swing, Chip Kelly's misdirection stuff is beautiful. I would just say real quick, I always wondered, like, what would that, move around, run and shoot, little offense look like with beefy Ohio State players. We get to see this is a video game. Isn't it like build your own players? Like you pulled Chip Kelly's Oregon offense, put it in a little mix of Ryan Day's influence, and you put Ohio State's players, Brian Hartline's players on there. That's pretty epic. That's pretty fantastic. All right. So wide receivers get an A. Emeka Egbuka, I think, is awesome. Cardinal Tate is an awesome third option. We can sprinkle in some damage with tight ends against really good teams. I think the tight ends might get like 2 to 3 catches a game combined. That may be a bit of a weakness, tight end, but we're gonna be good enough there, I believe. Emeka Egbuka being a number 2 is still like I still think he has games where he will flash and look like number 1. But that is just you can't ask. This is not. I would not put this on the level of Olave Wilson and JSN. I don't know that quite yet. Jeremiah Smith has learned to do the how did he catch that? But maybe he just hasn't had the opportunity yet. And Marv Garrett Wilson would do that. How did he catch that? JSN and Chris Olave would. How was he open again? No, Jeremiah might have a little bit of that. But anyways. Receivers, absolutely A plus, whatever you want to give it. The run game. This is an A. The only reason I'm not giving it an A, first let me say, Judkins looked great. Judkins looked like he's validating. Last week I was like, I think Trey's better. But I knew that Quinshon would have games where he looked like RB1. Trey looked amazing. Quinshon just busted the runs. He did happen to get even better. Maybe, Quinshon's touted as the more physical back, but like Trey lowers the boom, right? He's not physical. I think he's just more agile. When you see a guy that can stutter cut, you're like, oh, he's the outside runner. Yeah, it's just he can lower the boom too. So you just have an embarrassment of riches. I think Quinshon will have games where he looks like RB1. Trey will have the same type of games. You can't. The only reason this is not like a double, like an A plus, like where your teacher's so impressed that they gave you 105 out of 100 when it wasn't even offered to have extra credit on there. That didn't happen to me ever, as you can guess. But I think that's an A. The one thing that stops it from being an A plus is I don't know that this team is a super great interior run team. It's not really Chip Kelly's style. We did it a little bit. We did a little bit effectively enough. But the damage is done on the perimeter. Against good teams, you're going to have to be able to do that. I'm not saying we can't. I'm saying we haven't shown it. When we have tried it, it didn't look dynamic. It looked status quo for a good team, I guess, maybe. We're not just gashing them in interior run plays. I would say the interior run game's a B. Again, it doesn't mean this is a B team. It just means stylistically, that's not one of the things that's super great. How are we going to be on 4th and 1? I don't know, So embarrassment of riches nonetheless. Maybe if we're going to critique a little, nitpick a little championship level grade, we'll give the interior run game a B. All right. Okay. QB play, another nitpick. B. We didn't expect an A plus. If you did, you drink the Kool-Aid a little too much. I'll double up. I might drink Kool-Aid, but I'll do a little bit of Monster, a little bit of coffee. It's early, guys. Got to get going, But the QB play, Will Howard looks good enough. I remember saying right before the touchdown that he ran for, it's like, hey, guys, we haven't even shown the QB run wrinkle yet. We can. We haven't even shown that yet. Chip Kelly's got you looking like 6 different ways, and then you forget, there's a 7th. There's a 7th. The poor cameraman running the – a lot of people watching the game with Florida Corey and his girlfriend, Buckeye football fan girl Lisa, and our buddy Steve. Corey's like, I'm be honest, I'm getting a little confused where the ball is. I'm like, yeah, the cameraman is too. All that stuff helps Will. His mobility helps Will. He's just not, our down the field pass game, if I had to give that a grade, is a B, maybe a B minus. But short and interior, or short and intermediate, it's going to be an A plus. So it's going to be, again, good enough. Defense. This is just an A, guys, across the board. I don't want to hear it. The ball's going to move from the line of scrimmage from time to time, but it was a blowout. I had people saying that the defense had a lot of holes, like the first and second drive of the game. Or I say people, one person, but I'm sure there were others. There's always 100 people saying this defense has holes in it. Don't get me wrong. I get frustrated when it looks like Jim Knowles was just like, yeah, I left that there for you. Just seeing if you would take it. I'm like, yes, Jim, they're going to take it. But he clamps down, he tightens down. The talent starts shining through. Oh, my goodness, the depth at D-line. Cade McDonald, welcome to the show. Goodness gracious. Come on up here from Georgia, young man, and dominate. What a great player. I don't know that the defensive ends are going to be A-plussers. Sawyer had a nice sack from the stand-up position. I hope they don't fall in love with that. It seemed they tried that his freshman year. Didn't really work. Maybe his sophomore year didn't really work. Probably a little better at it now. JTT didn't show a whole lot, but it's just, again, it's when it's hard to flash when every guy on the line is better than the guy across for them. Tyleik Williams didn't have a ton of flash, or Ty Hamilton, but they didn't know. I mean, they did their job. They didn't play bad. I'm just saying there's so many people making plays, it's hard for them to flash. The corners, stupid. You have Jordan Hancock playing nickel. Remember when Jordan Hancock was such a commodity in recruiting that people would like? I mean, that's the type of recruit people are like reaching in their own pocket, and they're like, I got $4 in some pocket lint. I'll throw in at it. They wanted that dude. When we flipped that guy, that's a big deal. He's your nickel. He's not even an outside corner. You got Caleb Downs you got Lathan Ransom. He's been at Ohio State as long as I've been podcasting, since like 2017. And he's a good senior leadership back there. This is a stupid defensive front. Sonny Styles as a line, get out of here. Cody Simon finally being Cody Simon. The spark score that he posted when we recruited him, and like, wow, what a freak. And then we're showing good depth. That again, at the D line, we're showing depth. We're showing depth and safety, and a little bit maybe at corner. Since Burt got ejected, that was crap, by the way. So the defense is just solid A++ across the board. CJ Hicks' stock is down, but Gabe Powers' stock and Arvell Reese' stock is way up. We know the peck. CJ Hicks is confusing to me. I know the recruiting rankings. I'm rooting for him, Dayton area guy, extremely fast, or supposed to be. Nothing's showing through. You might just have to make a stand-up rush end out of him. It's not, the light is not coming on. It's dark, it's getting dark in there, right? Right. Sorry about that. Let me fix the lighting. Sorry, production team. Sorry. The light's not coming on. I hope it does. Arvell Reese is LB3. I think we've pretty well made that clear. The next thing is going to be, is Gabe Powers actually RB4? I don't know. Okay. Last but not least, I want to preview next show. Next show, who is the real QB2? I will say Devin Brown probably had his best game that I've seen. He looked good. Julian Sayin's looking good too. And the upside, Dave Biddle was talking about it on post-game spaces. People were commenting, Sayin's QB2. Sayin's really QB2. And I was like, well, I don't know, Brown's the leadership. He won the spot. Like, no leadership, I should say, experience. Probably some leadership. Yeah, he seems like a fiery guy. I don't know, though, if this is everybody's thought process and mine too. Something happens to Will Howard. Who's he really handing the ball to? Sayin, who can throw the ball, or will eventually be able to, after a few games, throw the ball all over the field. or Devin, who won't be able to do that, but will get better each game probably. But it's kind of going to be he is who he is. I think Devin's ceiling is, you know, Will Howard without as much mobility. Better deep ball for sure. I think Sayin's ceiling is somewhere around CJ Stroud's. So, but that's again the optimism in me talking about stuff we don't know yet because we haven't seen yet. And Ohio State, our favorite guy is always the next guy on the bench, right? Because we haven't seen him screw up. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for joining the show. I'll see you next time. As always, goodbye. God bless and go Bucks.